grab your cup of soup and your chicken tendies because we're going to talk about the Mandalorian.
Take that.
What's up, everybody? This is Nerds Make Sense, and I'm Ted, and I'm with...
I'm Josh.
Manual.
And we're going to talk about probably the only good Star Wars thing that we got going on so far, the Mandalorian.
Hey.
So 4, 5, 6, and 7. That's a lot of them. There's a
And
lot of stuff to win.
episode 8, next week we'll get its own
Yeah,
episode.
the season finale will have its own episode. So, yeah. So, how are we going to break this down? Like, what are we going to talk about?
Let's just go episode by episode first.
Yeah.
Alright, so episode 4.
I mean, if we jump around, I don't really care. I don't think anybody else cares if they've seen it. Oh, warning. Spoilers if you haven't seen episodes 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Yes.
Heavy spoilers.
Yeah, if you're here on episodes, if we're talking about the 6th chapter or whatever, and you scream out spoilers, dude, I don't know what you're talking about. So, yeah, the 4th one, do we have the titles names?
I was just looking at
I
them.
don't remember the title names.
I got it right here.
But anyways, he's
He's on the run.
Yep, they're still running.
Chapter 4 is Sanctuary.
Same shit away.
So they head to a planet.
That's far away.
Yeah.
It was like, and it wasn't even the planet. It wasn't like the moon of a planet. I mean, they were like, yeah.
It could have been, yeah.
And I was like, yeah, nobody lives here. Like, perfect.
Yeah.
And there he meets an ex-Republic soldier by the name of Cara Dune.
Sharptrooper. Yeah, played by MMA superstar Gianna Carano.
And they fight, obviously.
Yeah. Then he asks her if she wants some soup.
Yeah, and they fight, and then
there's Baby Yoda just sipping on some soup.
It made me laugh because she was like, just fucking the Mando was like, here's extra credit, watch the kid, and then fucking they fight, and then her and him fight, and then they stop and they look over, and he's just like,
he's just there sipping on the soup.
What's up?
Want some soup?
Dude, it's like, man, I lost that money. Yeah, so and then they ask her like, what are you doing here? You know, she has a bounty on her head still, you know. So she went there to hide. So he was like, oh well, I gotta leave because you're hiding here.
Yeah. Which is cool. So this character is actually, I really like her. She's super cool, super relaxed, and she's also kind of like a scoundrel in a sense. You know what I mean? Because she's on the run, she's an outlaw and whatever. But quickly, you kind of feel that there's like a bond between them, and they're not gonna rat each other out or betray each other. Which is
well, they
good.
clearly know each other.
Yeah, at least a little bit. And I like that. I like that even though they're like another outlaw type character, that they're not like a total like scoundrel. You know what I mean?
And it really kind of it lends a little more to the chaos that's going on in the galaxy, knowing that she is an ex-Republic soldier who is now on the run because she has a bounty on her head. Not necessarily from the Republic, but it's not really I don't think it's really stated who has the bounty on her. But we do know she does have a bounty on her, which is why she attacks the Mandalorian in the first place.
They did
because
say
she
had a bounty on her. I think she said. Dang, she did say it because he said it.
Yeah, but anyways, she thought that the guild, the Bounty Hunters Guild, had sent the Mando to bring her in. That's why she thought he was there. But it turns out, of course, Mando's just trying to find a place to hide out with Baby Yoda. And then, of course, they head back. Mando and Baby Yoda head back to the ship. He's making some last-minute repairs, getting ready to leave the planet, and they get approached by some natives.
2 fishermen.
Fishermen? Oh,
yeah, they're fishermen.
Okay. And they ask for his help with dealing with a group of bandits that live on the planet, who look remarkably like a group of Klatooinians.
English.
It's a race that kind of looks like they basically look like dog people, like a cross between a bulldog or a pit bull and a person.
Nice.
It's essentially what Klatooinians look like. I don't know if that's what they said that these guys were, but basically they were not great people.
I thought they were like that dude from Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
But he's a pig.
Dude,
No,
I was just thinking.
that's a
what I
Gamorrean.
was thinking about. I was like, weren't they pigs?
That's a Gamorrean, and they're usually green or brown, and then they have the tusk
That
coming
guy
out
was
of their
like
mouth.
pink, like a
No,
pig.
he's green. The two.
Oh, he was green. You're right.
The I think we see like 3 or 4 of them in Return of the Jedi, and they're all green.
But yeah, they told him they wanted his help. He's like, nah. He was like, hold up, how much money you got? I'll take that. Let's go. And then
he says no to the money.
Yeah.
But then they say like, oh, we're in the middle of nowhere. He's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, thinking there he's got a place to to lay low. And so they take him back to the village, and he says, I'm going to need those credits, and he goes over to Kara and enlists her help as well. Yeah. And then they head back to the village. Basically, he meets one of the women there, and
who's really into him.
Yeah, like right away. It's like
obviously a widow. You know what I mean?
She has a child of her own.
But I think she just sees single father, and she's like, oh, okay, let's go.
I mean, she wasn't bad looking.
Let's Brady Bunch
That's
this
for damn
shit.
sure.
Like, let's go.
And hey, there's a thing. He wasn't against it. He just wasn't willing to take off his helmet in front of her right away.
Yeah, he's afraid.
He thought about it.
He's afraid of intimacy. You know, and then the scene where he takes off his helmet, he's standing in front of a window, like a big old window with a bunch of kids like 5 feet away. And I'm like, bro, what?
That was funny.
But maybe the shadow's casting enough to where they can't see him or something
Bro,
like
I
that.
guess.
Or maybe that was a really good game of soccer they were playing.
Yeah, they were in it, bro.
Yeah,
well,
possible.
to be fair, when I see kids playing soccer, they don't listen to me or pay attention to me at all. So, you know, that's just what it's like.
But they like immediately bonded with Baby Yoda.
Yeah, he was eating frogs.
Yeah, and they thought it was like funny.
Yeah,
he's looking like, dude, I'm trying to eat.
It's like, I'm hungry. That soup wasn't enough.
Then they found out then they went to go show them where they were attacked from, right? And
Yeah, they did some like scouting, and they're like, oh, they came from here. Here's the footsteps and whatever. He got that freaking super cool eyepiece or whatever in his helmet. There's like, yeah, I can see that there were people here, this many, and they went that way. I'm like, okay, dang.
Yeah.
And then they find out about they have an ATST.
Yeah.
The Walker.
All-terrain scout transport.
What's AT-AT stand for?
All-terrain assault transport.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I was like, all-terrain.
South service.
So many terrain. Yeah, and so they're like, and so they're a little bit hesitant about helping these people now because like a walker's like a tank pretty much.
Oh yeah.
And they're like, I have a rifle.
Yeah, because I mean, even in in episode what was it? Did we see him in episode 5? I think we did. We saw a couple of them in episode 5.
I don't think
mainly
so.
we see them in episode 6.
Yeah.
I mean, they could. The armor was thick enough to bounce blasters off of it. It literally took two giant.
Thick enough to bounce off logs.
Yeah, it took 2 giant logs smashing on both sides to take one down.
I feel like a tank could take that. I feel like a log crashing into a tank.
And then, of course, an ATST's own blasters would be strong enough to take out another one.
Yeah, because they're a tank.
Yeah. But, yeah. So they go back to the village. They start training the villagers to fight. Because, well, in first, they're like, nah, we're not doing it. They've got an ATST. We're done. We're out.
Yeah.
But the villagers convince them to help. They train the villagers to fight. And then I forget what happened after that. Like, obviously they...
Well, so they set a trap for the ATST. They're like, we're going to dig a hole in his lake right here. And he steps in. It's going to go all the way down. Right? But then for some reason or whatever, it stops before the little pond or whatever and doesn't fall in. So they're like, oh, okay, let me lure him in. And so she goes under it and it's like taking pot shots at it from under it until it steps forward. And then it finally steps forward and they blow it up. And then they just kill everybody else. You know?
Kobe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then they fought back. They all backed away from the town. They kill all of them? Or
No, some of them ran away.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, they were cheering on and whatnot, and then that's where Mando, the girl lady's like, you can stay here and whatnot. He's like, yeah, I gotta go, but the kid's staying. And then
it cuts to the woods where there's another hunter taking aim at Baby Yoda.
Yeah, because they're following with the tracker.
The little tracking fob
Yeah.
that we see at the end of episode, what is it, 2?
Yeah, and when it showed him zooming in, and he's talking and whatnot, and he had him Baby Yoda in his sights, and he shot. There was like 3 things that went to my head. I was like, 1, they shot him. 2, Baby Yoda
stopped it.
Threw it back at him.
Yeah.
And the third one is that someone stopped him, and that was what happened.
Yeah, it turns out that the shot wasn't actually from the hunter; it was from Kara, who had snuck up behind the hunter and shot him.
And Mando knew that no matter what, if he would have stayed there, or if he would have left Baby Yoda there, all those people would have died. Or
somebody would have eventually come after him again.
So she scooped the baby up, and off they went.
Yeah,
really good episode. I liked it.
Yeah, it did. It showed a much more. I mean, obviously, we've seen the humane and softer side of Mando when he went back to rescue Baby Yoda in the first place. But this kind of showed that a little bit more. Like he's a very honorable and respectable person.
Yeah,
and respectful person.
He plays a lot. He plays a lot like he isn't, and he does that. But he eventually always folds. He's kind of like, I don't know if anybody's seen Shield Hero. He's kind of like Shield Hero, where he plays like a big bad dude, but he's really not. Like even when he's being bad, he's not as bad as he could be.
Yeah.
But also this episode really plays into like just the old Western feel that this whole show's giving off. Because this is a very like this is like a just a very like Western type story. Like, oh, gunslinger comes to town, teaches everybody how to shoot to defend themselves from the bad dudes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean so I do have the issue with the episode that I have is like it's a very overused sci-fi episode trope because I've seen it so many different times in so many other sci-fi shows, whether it be Andromeda or Star Trek or whatever, where they come across a planet of somebody who is low-level technology and they're being taken advantage of by somebody who has superior technology, and then they train them to fight them off and defend themselves. It's something that's been used over and over and over, so it was a little bit the episode for me, it was a little predictable, but it was still enjoyable.
Yeah. I mean, because you knew exactly what was going to happen. Even that little twist of like somebody coming up for the baby after everything was resolved. Like, no, we knew that was going to happen because he thought he had solved the problem. We're on episode 4. Of course, he didn't solve the overarching plot yet.
Because even if he did leave him there, he would have had to have gone back for him at some point.
Yeah, like it was either he left him there and then on his way back he sees like a whole like group of freaking bounty hunters like going that way. He's like, well, fuck, gotta turn around now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But yeah, so it was pretty predictable. I'll give you that. But I still like it. I just like that kind of tropes involved here.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It wasn't, like I said, it wasn't a bad episode. It was a good episode. It was done well. But like, it's a story that's been used several times in sci-fi stories, and so it's like, once again, it was predictable, but it was good. So moving on to episode 5, he actually goes to some place we're all quite familiar with.
What are you talking about? I've never seen this place before. My whole life.
He lands on everybody's favorite sand planet, Tatooine.
It really feels like the only one. Las Vegas.
I wonder if he still likes sand after that. After those events.
Like
it's rough. It's coarse and it gets everywhere.
Yeah.
Dude, I really didn't like this. Well, it's not that I didn't like it. It was just a boring episode. It was bound to happen. Like to have like an episode that was kind of like whatever. Because like, this guy comes in. He looks like he's tough, like the tough guy. He's like, oh, I got all these bounties. I did all this, and then Mando's like, all right, he goes, wait, no, I need you. He goes, wait.
Yeah, it basically he comes across a young bounty hunter who's trying to get in with the guild.
Yeah.
And the young bounty hunter basically offers the Mando all of the reward. He just wants credit for the kill, so that way he can get in the guild.
And I don't know why he thought,
or not the kill, but the capture.
And it was a hard capture too.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like the most deadly assassin in the galaxy, basically.
Isn't she like that one chick from?
It's Ming-Na.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's been in so much. She was in, of course, she was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so she's under contract with Disney.
Yeah, but I mean, her kind of character reminds me of the one from, is it Attack of the Clones? Yeah, Attack of the Clones, episode 2.
Oh, you mean Zev?
She was like a face changer or whatever.
Yeah, Zev.
Yeah.
Who tries to kill Padme with the worm thing.
Because they even like dress the same.
Not really.
I swear to God, they dressed exactly the same.
I remember until you said that right now. I didn't think of that.
That's what it looked like to me. I'm like, that can't be that bitch. I'm like, no, that bitch is dead. And that was like a million years ago.
That would have been over 30 years ago at that point.
Long time ago.
That would have been 30 to 40 years ago by that point.
Yeah, I mean, that's just what she looked like. I'm like, well, there's supposed to be a bunch of people that can do that. I'm like, maybe she's just one of those people. And I'm like,
no, she just happens to be a really good assassin.
Okay.
And so they go out and try and find her, and they actually do end up capturing her together.
Yeah.
But then when I guess she wrecks one of the speeders. Yeah, she wrecked one of the speeders, so
Dude,
he had
that whole that whole part with he thought of about with the like blinding her like her scope and whatnot. That was really cool. I'll give it that part.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, well, gonna shoot one of us. That's I was like, that's my mindset.
Yeah.
But so yeah, and then they eventually get to her.
Well, of course, he doesn't have as much to worry about because he's got the Beskar armor.
Yeah.
So most, I mean,
I swear.
He even said at this range, it wouldn't have penetrated the armor, but like her rifle up close obviously would have.
Yeah.
Which is a scary thought that somebody out there has a rifle powerful enough to penetrate Beskar armor, even if it is at close range.
Yeah. And then she preyed on him because he knew he was weak. Like he was.
Oh yeah, the young bounty hunter. Yeah, she basically. I didn't see him killing her though. That one caught me a little off guard.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I mean, I kind of figured she wouldn't last the whole episode. I figured either she would die or she'd go free or something. I didn't think she was gonna become like a permanent member of the show.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
When
I mean, I don't exactly know what's going on with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. right now, but
because like I said, like this episode didn't really intrigue me as much because I kind of.
It was a little bit filler.
Yeah, and then so like I think I was playing Pokemon on my Switch when I was doing it, and when I heard the shot go, because I was listening to what they're saying, because that's how I work. If I'm not like watching it, I'm listening really well, and I'm doing something else, and I heard this blaster go off. I was like, oh, okay, she killed him and got the key. Obviously, I looked over, like, oh, she's dead.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, that one surprised me. I
was
thought
like,
for
now
sure,
I gotta watch.
Yeah, I thought for sure she would be the one to kill him.
Yeah,
and then. And of course, he makes the mistake of kidnapping Baby Yoda.
Yeah, so she told him basically what he's a excommunicado basically.
Yeah. She basically told him about the bounty on Mando's head.
Yeah,
and he was like, "Really?"
He's like, "Maybe if I get him after whatever the fuck he just did."
And he was like, "I'm not sharing."
Yeah. That's what you get a lot here. A lot of through this is like, oh.
Yeah.
I'll help you. Just give me half.
But I mean, you kind of expect it on Tatooine.
Yeah.
At this point.
It's like our hometown. But yeah, so she tries to tells him about the bounty, and then the part that I didn't know what he thought he was gonna do. Like he couldn't take her out until like basically Mando did everything. And then he tries to fight him and like try to capture him.
Yeah, well, the whole thing is he had Baby Yoda, so he thought he had the upper hand. And then of course, Mando did the flare gun thing
Yeah.
again, and it blinded him real quick, and he was able to get the upper hand and kill the kid.
Yeah, and then and I was just like, what did you expect to happen? Like I didn't expect. Like now, well, I was hoping he didn't go the whole full thing. Like he got him. It was a huge gunfight and everything. Like lasted a while. Because I was like, then why did you need help on this mission? But then it went out the way I thought. It was just like that.
Yeah.
And then he just grabbed the baby, and then
yeah,
that was it. That was the episode. But the big thing is that at the end, someone is following him, but not the baby, because obviously at this point in time, if they were following the baby,
they would have a tracker.
They would have a tracker, but they wouldn't be there. They would be back where he's at now. But this person has spurs and whatnot, and he went to go check the dead body. And we didn't see him in the next episode we're going to talk about, or in any of the episodes. So he's rather, I want to know who that is.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, and of course, there's a theory that it's a wild theory that people are saying it's Boba Fett.
Yeah. Why does he have spurs?
Anyways,
I don't know. Maybe he had to use them to help climb out of the Sarlacc.
Yeah, sure.
Episode 7, my
maybe
favorite.
Yeah,
my favorite episode.
Well, you're jumping. It's episode 6.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So apparently he gets a call from an old friend, I guess would be the most appropriate term, who we used to work with. I guess they used to like run in a group.
Yeah.
And do jobs together.
You know what? This off topic. He said a word in there that triggered me because it reminded me of a really bad game.
What?
He said fire team, and I thought of Destiny. I just thought that was funny. But yeah.
But yet he's still going to buy Destiny 3 when it comes out.
Mind. Last of Us is coming out next year, ain't it?
That's the only game you're buying next year?
That's the only game I'm playing, so something else will Sword and Shield 2 come out.
Pokemon Gun.
Yeah, Pokemon Gun.
Gunther. With my boy Gunther.
Anyways, getting back to what we were talking about. So he gets a call from an old friend. They've got a new job, I guess. So they say one of theirs got captured. Mm-hmm. And so they ask him to come along and help out. And so, it's a typical, it starts out as kind of like a typical,
snatch and grab, go get
the guy. Heist type mission.
Breaking a guy out of prison.
We're breaking in, we're getting him, and we're getting out.
Yeah. And then you come to find out that the person that they're trying to break out is the brother of one of the members of the group that he's with, but it's also the guy they left behind. That Mando left behind on the last job he did with the group.
Yes.
And kind of the reason why he left them to begin with.
Yeah.
I guess. I'm not 100% sure about that.
Yeah.
But anyways, so then the group turns on Mando, locks him in the cell while they try to use his ship to escape.
Yeah. What I liked about that's why I really like this episode, because it goes with something I really like is overestimating people. Because even before they got on the ship, right, and they went to go
underestimating people.
Oh yeah, underestimating people. I bet.
Yeah.
And so when he met the new guy, do you guys remember the new guy's name? The guy who was in charge of the whole mission.
I think it was like
not the old guy, but the guy's like, oh yeah, this.
Oh, I just had it too.
But when they show him, he was like, oh, who's this guy? He was a smart ass.
Yeah.
Well, all of them are. And he was like, oh yeah, this is the fastest gun.
Mayfeld.
He was like, Mayfield. He was like, this is the fastest gun. He's faster than me. Which I don't understand when he uses like a robotic arm that detaches from his back.
Okay, so the guy with the beard was Ranzar Malk. And then Bill Burr played Mayfeld.
Yeah.
The bald-headed guy.
Yeah, and then they make fun of him a lot, and like I'm just like, dude, I just can't wait.
Until they see him take down a shit ton of battle droids.
Yeah, and I'm just like, bro, like they're like, oh yeah, and they're making fun of him because of his mask. They're like, why don't you take it off? And then the girl that was with him was like, oh, he doesn't take it off, and she makes fun. He's like, this is the way, and they're all like, and then Yeah,
and I thought it was. So something about like one of the last episodes where he meets the other mercenary, and there's like this kind of like just this like understanding between them, and so they get along. Here, you immediately meet these people and are like, oh, they suck. Yeah. They all just suck, and you're like, so I'm like, they're not gonna last.
Yeah. And then so like they sneak in, and when he finds out it's a Republic thing, he's like, I'm out, but he still goes and whatnot. And then they make fun of his ship and whatnot, and they have to use his ship because his ship has not a cloaking, but what was the word? It wasn't a cloaking. Was it a cloaking?
No, I don't think it was.
It was something in his ship that he can't be detected because he's obviously a bounty hunter, so he can't be detected.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was.
And they had to go into a certain angle to go around.
Yeah, and he couldn't fly like that, so the droid had to fly.
Yeah.
And of course, he hates droids.
Yeah, so they land in, they betray him. Yeah, they took off the... What were those robots called? Do they have names?
I don't know. I think, as far as we know, they're just Republic battle droids or security droids.
Security droids, yeah.
Basically.
And then, they're pinned down by him and whatnot, and then they were looking for Mando, and the guy's like, I knew it. Like, I guess they knew that he was going to run. But he went behind, he took them all out by himself, all 4, right? It was 4.
It was like 4 or 5,
yeah. He took them out, and it was such a good scene. Like, this is what I'm talking about from Star Wars.
It was complete
the
badassery.
Choreograph, whatever, was so great. He was pulling arms off and stabbing people with it.
He was bitch slapping them with their own
hands.
With
his own hands, bro. Yeah. And then, it was such a great scene.
Oh, God. It was incredible.
Yeah, and they're like, I told you. And then, then they free the brother, and then they push him in, and then they try to leave him. Like,
yeah, so they betray him. So, like, we all saw it coming. That they're going to betray him in some way. And then you have... you have them all like making their exit, and then while this is happening, like something that they have another member, is he a droid? This other dude?
Yeah, he's a robot.
Yeah.
So they have a robot pilot, and he's like digging through his stuff, like he's getting like this transmission coming in. He's like,
Yeah, he discovers the transmission from Carl Weathers' character.
Yeah, and then he's on the ship, and then eventually he sees the baby, and he goes to kill the baby.
I don't know if he goes to kill Baby
He
Yoda.
takes the gun. He sees Baby, turns around, grabs the gun, and he's obviously going to kill the baby.
That boy just want to get his chicken tendies.
He's like, I was going to the freezer for my tendies, but you're here, so yeah. And then Mando's in his jail cell. They left him with his armor, and they acted like he wasn't gonna get out.
We forgot one point that they were being guided to the command center, and this whole ship's not supposed to have any organic life. But even before they go in, they're like, "There's organic life in here."
Oh yeah, they had one person in there.
Yeah, and it was like one guy from the Republic, and he was like, "Oh, you guys aren't supposed to be here. Get out." He's obviously the scared guy, and they're trying to kill him, but Mando's like, "Dude, we could talk to him." Like, hey, what's the problem?
Yeah, he tries to talk him down. He's actually making headway too.
Yeah,
and then the girl just throws a knife at him,
kills him. But she still presses the button to call for backup or whatever. So they have a time limit. They push him in. They betray him. Yeah, and then like Manuel said, they left him in there with his armor. And I was like, yeah, he's gonna have like some kind of like some kind of key or something. But what he does is he uses the grappling hook feature, where one of the wandering guards passing by.
Yeah.
Wraps around his arm, pulls his arm off, and then maneuvers the arm.
No, he pulls the droid. He wraps it around his neck, pulls the droid in. The droid goes into shoot him, and then he breaks the arm off, and then uses his arm.
And then kills him with his own gun. Uses the arm for the key, because obviously they have a key on the inside of the cell for whatever reason, and he opens up, and then they're like, "Oh, he got out." And then this is the fun part. He
goes back to the control room, locks down the ship.
Yeah, and then he separates them. There's 2 and 2, right?
And then he just goes total horror movie mode on him.
Yeah.
And it's the most epic thing I have ever seen in Star Wars.
Yeah, and then the fight.
Like, it was probably scary on par, but it was a scary good kind of thing. And it was on a little on par with the whole Vader scene at the end of Rogue One.
Yeah.
Where Vader just goes fucking ape shit.
I was hoping Mayweather. What was it?
Mayfield.
Mayweather. I was hoping Mayfield was the last guy he got, but it wasn't. It was the big guy, wasn't it? Or no?
No, the big guy was first. because he
'cause
slams him in the door.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Was Mayfield last name?
I think he was.
Yeah, because
No, it was the big dude.
Yeah, it was the big dude, right?
No,
it was the brother, not the big dude, the brother.
Well,
Oh,
no,
yeah,
but he
yeah,
took
yeah,
the
yeah,
brother
yeah.
back to the
Yeah.
space station
Yeah.
like he was supposed to.
Yeah, because I was hoping Mayfield.
But he
got
still
his.
kicked his ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then
The way he
but
snuck on him was fresh.
but yeah, so he finally catches it. He takes them all out one by one, and then he finally catches up to the brother. And then the brother's like, "Oh, but you're an honorable person. You were told to do a job. You'll do it." And he even tries to bribe him at one point, like, "I'll pay you like quadruple or whatever, some shit."
Yeah. Then we go back to the ship, and the guy, I don't know how big the ship is, but this guy's still looking for Baby Yoda. And he opens the door and sees him. Baby's in his bed, chilling, eating his chicken tendies, and he has the gun. He's about to shoot. And then I thought he shot the gun at him. I thought Baby Yoda, made him kill himself with, some kind of force trigger or something.
Yeah.
But it was Mando who got
Again,
there.
again, it was somebody shooting the other person from behind.
Yeah.
And then he takes the brother back to the space station, drops him off, and the
guy
the
asked-
original guy he goes, "Where are the others?" And Mando goes, "Don't ask questions, remember?"
Yeah, and they're like,
He gets back on the ship, flies off, and then it gets revealed that the brother has the tracker on him.
Yeah, though he flies off and he was like, "All right, kill him," and they're all laughing and they have a.
Oh yeah, they've got that nice ass fighter. That's coming
Yeah, and
out.
he's about to hop into it, but then they
You hear
find the
beeping.
tracker.
Yeah.
And then 3 Republic X-wings come out of hyperspace and just go and just fucking blow the
And they're
shit out of the
and
space
he's like,
station.
huh? And he's like, they have the tracker from the prison. Oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Blow it up.
Yeah. No, yeah, they blew it up because they're like, oh yeah, look at the signal. They said the signal's coming from there, and it was like they're about to shoot a fighter or whatever, a bomber. And they're like, it's gonna come right out. They're like, oh yeah, take it out, and they took it out, and they all died.
Yeah.
That was the best laugh I
Because
had.
they were just so nonchalant.
I did
They were
my-
just they pulled up and were like, all right, well, here it is.
They're launching. Well, they probably thought they were launching the fighter at them.
They probably thought.
So
yeah.
they just went ahead and yeah, we're gonna.
But there was it was just deadpan just when they were talking. There wasn't any urgency. They didn't sound like they were in danger. They were just oh, work is work.
Well,
Kill them.
Well, I mean, come on. They probably survived the attack on the second Death Star. It's like, this is nothing after that one.
They probably they knew that the alarm, the signal was from the.
Yeah,
the
they
prison.
figured they
So
were about to get attacked.
They knew that whoever broke into the prison was there. They seen the fighter jet.
What's questionable to me though is that they let Mando go without so much as a word.
Well, yeah, well,
You see this ship flying out, and you're coming out of hyperspace right past it. And you know he's coming from the station that the tracker just came from, or the tracking beacon is coming from. So why would you just let him go?
My understanding with that is that they came out of hyperspace, right? It looks like he was right in front of them. What I'm guessing is that he was under them flying because he goes like this.
Well, they actually fly around him.
Yeah, and then so what I thought it was oh, this comes into the thing that he can't be tracked, so he wasn't seen on the radar of that.
But they would have seen him in their windows.
Fucking eyes, yeah.
Yeah,
I
you literally see the X-wings maneuvering around his ship.
Then you got urgency because there's a lot going on. They see the ship coming up. Well, they're gonna turn around and shoot. But then the guy said,
And then of course Mando wasn't attacking them.
Yeah,
So.
and then the fighter
he didn't have a
jets-
beacon on him.
Yeah, and then so there was a lot going on.
But what's really cool is in cutting back. Sorry, go ahead and finish. I'll let you finish.
It was just oh well, tracker ahead of us and a fighter jet coming at us, a guy going away.
Yeah, but what was really cool is the whole horror scene thing back on the Republic guard ship. It leads you to believe that he killed all 3 of them, but then you come to find out at the very end of the episode, nope, they're stuck in the cell.
Yeah, they're in the cell.
Yeah.
It was he is that badass that he didn't have to kill him.
Yep.
The big dude's missing some of his horns, but that's about it.
Yeah, we had a good laugh.
That was such a good
It was
episode.
such a good episode. I mean,
it.
it did feel like it was just filler.
Yeah, that was something
it had,
like what your brother said. Yeah, I could get that, but it was so satisfying to watch
It was.
that I didn't care until it was over, and I was like, Oh wait,
That had no, yeah. It's like
we didn't actually do anything.
that had nothing to do with what's been going on. It absolutely had nothing. And but my favorite thing about it was the comment he makes at the end. As they're flying away, he's like, "Yeah, I told you that was a bad idea." Like it was Baby Yoda's idea the whole time.
I just love that he talks to the baby. It's funny because everything he says to the baby is just like really funny.
Yeah. Because I mean, it's pretty much just a one-sided conversation.
Yeah.
Unless somehow the Baby Yoda is like telepathically talking to him.
Oh, dude, I want some chicken tenders.
Me too, dude.
But okay, so getting on to that was episode 6. Now we're getting on to episode 7. So basically, we're getting to the culmination of what's been going on this season. And so at the beginning of the episode, Mando's flying along as normal. He gets a call from what is Carl Weathers' character?
I think it's the same call that he got from the last one that it wasn't picking up.
It could have been. So Carl Weathers' character is Grief Karga,
Okay. That's not what I thought it was at all, but all right.
or I don't know. It might be Gref. I don't know, but it's Greef. See, you are the one that makes noise in the video with your phone.
My phone didn't ring. That was the whole premise of the conversation.
it did before though.
My phone
But anyways,
never went off.
getting back. So he gets the holo communication from
What's his name?
from Karga, and basically calls him and tells him that if he brings the kid, they can set up a trap to get rid of the client that wants the kid, and that everything will be forgiven. And you use the kid as bait, and he would get the Mando into the meeting in order to kill the Imperial client that wanted him in the first place. And so the Mando's like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. And so he goes back to the planet where he met Kara.
Avengers Assemble. That's what I thought.
He picks up Kara.
Beating the crap out of this one guy.
Oh yeah, that was so cool. She's beating the crap out of a Zabrak.
Yeah, it's Darth Maul's race.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're from Dathomir. But yeah, so anyway, she just finishes beating the crap out of him. He comes up. He basically propositions her. He asks her to come along. He wants some backup that he can trust. And she's like, yeah, no, I'm done with the whole soldier thing. And then then Mando goes, the guy we're going to kill is an Imperial. She's like, I'm in.
Yeah, I'm in.
It's like, that's the Republic drop soldier in her. And so then they go back to the planet from the first episode where Mando...
The guy who owns the Gibbles.
Oh, yeah.
They remind me of Gibbles.
What are they actually called, though?
They're
Blurbs.
Yeah.
They're called blurbs.
It might as well be Gibble. I know whoever made that guy plays Pokemon. It looks just like a Gibble.
But so he's an Ugnaught named Quill, or Quill, however you want to say that.
Cool.
He was actually played by Nick Nolte, by the way.
Cooler.
But so we come to find out that he found IG-11, reprogrammed him, so now he's a servant droid.
You don't know who IG-11 is? It's the robot from the first episode
that Mando shoots in the head.
Kept trying to self-destruct, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Will you stop that?
Bro, that's still funny. Yeah, Mando doesn't trust him.
Yeah, he just doesn't trust droids in general because it goes back to the Clone Wars.
Yeah, and then
Is that the reason?
Yeah, that's why he hates droids.
The super battle droids.
That makes
The super battle droids that came in and killed his family.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and then and they had the montage showing him that he had to relearn everything from scratch. Walking and doing whatever.
Yeah,
and
that was kind of interesting to see because that's something you don't ever find out about droids.
it was weird.
Because it was essentially like he was raising a baby.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know if that's just specific to the IG series or if it's all droids in general. Because it's kind of not what we saw with C-3PO and Rise of Skywalker. But so anyway, so he recruits Kara and Quill, they go to the planet. They meet up with Karga, and
I think we're forgetting a very important part before that, right? Well, I'm missing two parts. Well, first did Baby Yoda try to?
oh yeah, they were so on the trip to the Karga's planet. I don't know what it's called. So Mando and Kara are arm wrestling, and they're like really going at it. But I mean, it's all in fun. But Baby Yoda, for some reason, he doesn't get that.
Yeah, and he starts force.
And so he starts force choking her. Like he seriously goes Darth Vader on her.
Yeah, that's so cool. And then Mando stopped him.
Yeah,
no, it's a friend.
he realized what's going on. He's like, "No, she's a friend. She's a friend."
Yeah, and then
She freaks out because he almost killed her.
yeah, and Quill brings up like I worked for the Empire when I whatever and
Well, he basically
he didn't say it, but he
find out that he was a slave.
Yeah, and then he didn't say who he was talking about, but he was talking about Darth Vader. He was talking about the Force, but he didn't say it yet.
Yeah,
So
that's one thing that they haven't done is they haven't openly said the Force.
that's good. Because we all, because you really don't
because
have
at this
you
point,
really don't have to say it.
nobody would really know about it, right? Because this is after Episode 6. I
Yeah.
guess
And
Rebels
Luke-
said it a lot.
Luke hasn't established the new Jedi Order yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, there wasn't even really an order. It was like a camp.
Well, it was a temple. It was a
like a-
full-on temple and
was
academy.
It was a summer camp.
Crystal Lake. Or what happened there?
I know, right?
From what we know, he had at least anywhere from 100 to 250 Jedi and
Had.
Padawans.
Yeah, he sure had.
Yeah, and I mean, that's not a lot compared
No.
to a whole universe full of people.
Right, no, but at least, something was happening.
Yeah, and
But anyway,
And then the other one was that which was brought to my attention is that when Baby Yoda was trying to mess with the ship and almost made him crash.
oh,
Now
yeah.
that one it flew over my head, but when I rewatched it, I kind of thought after I thought about seeing the force choking part, I feel like
You think maybe he glimpsed the future?
no, I feel like he knew what was gonna happen. I feel like he's at this point where he's feeling a bunch of he's on this journey with this bounty hunter, and he knows that every single place they go to has something involved with danger. And I'm still thinking he's picking that up.
He had a
'Cause
bad feeling about it?
He's not. I'm not saying that. He's not. He's not. He is a baby form, but he's 50 years old, so he's thinking and he's feeling, and I feel like he knew that them going to there was a bad idea. And what we'll talk
had a
about.
bad feeling about it.
Yeah, I'm not corny, and so I feel like he knew that there was there was something going to happen, and that. Dude, it's not funny. You're the only one laughing.
It is funny because
It's
you are
not.
actively trying not to say it.
I've never said it in my life. But, so he's trying to steer him out the way. And that's what I think is,
Yeah.
and then it proves to be right later.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, his fears do turn out to be warranted. So they land on the planet. They meet Karga. He tells them that they're going to go camp for the night. And then they'll head into town in the morning. And... Sorry. So while they're camping out, they're having a meal, talking about the plan, what's going to go on. And Karga, at one point, he goes, nothing can go wrong.
Dude, you never say
Everything.
that. You never say that in anything.
Yeah.
Don't-
Well, I mean, that's just the biggest foreshadowing in the world, because then everything goes completely to shit. All of a sudden, they get attacked by these dragon pterodactyl things
Yeah,
out of nowhere.
they're from Dagobah. Well, it's a breed off from Dagobah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of shout outs of Dagobah in this episode.
Yeah, and then one of the guards that Karga brought ends up getting carried away.
Yeah, bro, they killed my Gibbles.
One of the blurbs gets taken away. Another one gets crushed when they kill one of the dragon things and it falls on him. So they're down to one blurb, or blurg, or I don't know what the hell they're called.
And then that guy got scratched.
Yeah, but anyway, and so Carl Weathers he gets really badly wounded, and I guess there's like poison in their talons or something, and it starts spreading through his arm. And Baby Yoda walks up and goes to touch him, and Kara's like, no, get him out of the way, get him out of here. And Quill goes, no, let him, let's see what happens. And so he touches him, and he heals him. Like, he uses his Force essence to heal him. And that changes something in Karga. Because we come to find out that morning that the plan was actually to kill the Mando.
Yeah, he
and
kills
take
the other two guys he has with him. He kills
Yeah.
his guys he brought as guards.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, well, we were gonna kill you, but you know.
And then take the kid and hand him over. But he's after basically the kid saved his life, he couldn't do it anymore. So they hatched a new plan to have the kid go back to the ship with Quill, and then they would take the carriage that the kid was in, that Yoda was in, Baby Yoda, sorry, Baby Yoda was in, and they would act like the Mando had been caught, and they take him in and try to kill the Imperial client. So they walk into the cantina where Karga had been basically running the guild out of.
And before they even went there, he was like, "Oh yeah, there's only gonna be 4 guys. There's only 4 guards." Like,
And there's Imperials all over the place.
Troopers, yeah.
Well, because like it went from 4, and then it was like 10, and then it was like 20, and then after everything else happened, they were flooded.
Yeah, it was a whole garrison.
the whole thing.
And I'll get to it in a second, but there was like really something that kind of like irked me a little bit about towards the end. But so anyways, they get into the cantina. There is only 4 guards inside the cantina at first. So they're sitting there talking. They're trying to sell the whole thing that the kid's sleeping. You don't want to wake him up right now. We've got the Mando here. We want a reward for him. And so the guy, all of a sudden, he gets a stormtrooper comes up and tells him that he's got a message. And he goes, I have to take this call. He gets up and like 3 more stormtroopers walk in out of nowhere. Or, well, 2 walk in from outside, and then another one appears like out of nowhere. And so he goes to a briefcase that opens up, and it's a hollow communication terminal, and a moth pops up. And he's like, well, do you have the package? He goes, yes, I have it right here. He's like, are you sure? And then all of a sudden, and so actually Karga, he hands Mando back his blaster after Mando slips off the handcuffs.
Yeah.
And they're getting ready to kill him, but then all of a sudden blaster fire just comes in from outside the cantina. Takes out the client, takes out all the freaking stormtroopers. Karga, Kara, and Mando are all hiding behind a table. And come to find out, it pans up to the now busted out window, and you see just a line of death troopers, which you've only ever seen one other time.
Yeah.
And that was in Rogue One.
Okay, yeah. That's what I thought.
And it's like, the minute you see him, it's like, oh shit, these guys can actually hit things.
Also, yeah, and there's that joke that they made a few episodes ago with the one dude, and he says something about being a sharpshooter or whatever, and you're like, weren't you a stormtrooper? And he's like, no, I wasn't a stormtrooper.
Well, he was a sharpshooter, not a stormtrooper.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
And then a whole garrison of stormtroopers just come flooding in behind the death troopers, and then a TIE fighter comes up, and as it starts to come down to land, and this is the part that kind of irked me a little bit, the wings folded.
Yeah.
I've never seen a TIE fighter do that before. As a matter of fact, we don't even see it in Rise of Skywalker.
If that irks you, and when we talk about the next subject, next video, and a lot of stuff don't irk you, I don't want to hear it.
I feel like I have seen that.
I have never seen a TIE fighter folded, like a regular TIE fighter fold its wings like that.
Well, for one, I don't think it really matters.
I mean, I guess it doesn't in the grand scheme, but it's like...
I mean, it's just for effect, because that was a pretty badass entrance anyways. I mean...
I guess. Yeah.
So how do you usually get out of those things?
Well, you usually get out of them from the top.
So you're telling me you rather have it land in like the H pose position, and this important character we don't know anything about get out of it and slide down and land on his feet or fall, and then present himself as this big, intimidating person. I mean, this was just to. It was just to intimidate. It was like a cool scene to show like this guy meant.
I mean, I know I'm being a little nitpicky about it. It's just I never see. It's never even been mentioned anywhere that a TIE fighter can do that.
Well, how many times do you see a TIE fighter land?
Only time I see
Instead of just blowing up.
I was gonna say all TIE fighters are good for blowing up. Like,
well, I mean, yeah, of course, the other couple of times that we see them, you know, they basically have ramps near the top of their canopies, so that way the pilots can climb into them from the top. But, yeah, I mean, it's not that it bothered me in a bad way. I guess saying that it irked me was, like, the wrong word to use. It just, like, I don't know. It was kind of cool, but it was also, like, for me, the first thing out of my mouth when I saw it was, like, since when can they do that?
whenever they wanted.
Apparently, either that or this is some kind of new model. Because I never knew TIE Fighter, the regular basic TIE Fighter, had a hyperdrive. I always thought they were short range, attached to space stations or Star Destroyers.
I mean, anything
only.
can have a hyperdrive, can it?
I mean...
Don't X-Wings have hyperdrives?
The X-Wings do, but they're built for long range missions. Whereas the basic H TIE Fighters that we see in Episode 4... they weren't built with TIE fighters, and they actually had Vader's was custom. Yes, his had a hyperdrive. His was specially built for him though. But the other TIE fighters that we see, they not only do they not have a hyperdrive, but they have lighter armor because they basically want speed and accuracy over durability. So they had faster ion engines and then more accurate target systems.
More accurate.
At least they were.
More accurate.
Those TIE fighter pilots had more kills in that movie than any stormtrooper ever did.
Yo, bro, that's a low bar.
So this guy landed.
Yeah.
And he got out, and when I seen him, I thought.
Well, before that,
while that's happening, Mando is over the comm links telling.
Yeah.
No. We forgot something. Those new stormtroopers. Did we say that they just fucking killed everybody else in that building?
Oh yeah,
they annihilated all the old stormtroopers.
Yeah, they didn't care about their own people
one
at
dude.
all.
Yeah, they're just like, no, fuck it, blow it up. And they're like, oh, go.
But now the stormtroopers that arrived behind them, did you notice something?
No.
Their armor was clean.
Yes.
Like it was like brand spanking new, pristine. Whereas all the other stormtroopers that we had seen up to that point had like dirty ass armor.
That makes sense too, because if they just killed this guy off, and this guy wasn't as important, he was just an Empire person.
Yeah, he was from Old Empire, and what I'm assuming is this is the new, like this is the start of the First Order or something. I am assuming.
And this guy.
Well, it's one of the Moffs that basically kind of took control of a faction of the Empire, because basically after the Emperor died, there were a couple other major victories that fractured the Empire even further to where basically what was left of the Moffs kind of took what they could. You know, they gained control of whoever they could, and we're all vying for top spot. So this is probably just one Moff who happens to have maybe we at least know he has several Death Troopers and at least a garrison of Stormtroopers under his command. Possibly even a couple of TIE Fighters. Now, before that, when the Mando and everybody else are inside the cantina, he gets in contact with Quill to see if he'd made it back to the ship. And unfortunately, what ends up happening is the scout troopers that had the speeder bikes on the outside of town intercept the message. They intercept the conversation.
Yeah,
and they go after.
And my thing is, because I think Ted pointed this out, is is like how did they hear that? Especially because they didn't look like they were trying to intercept it. Like they looked like they were just chilling.
You know what? I noticed something. So, Quill handed a comlink to Karga or Kara. He handed a comlink to somebody, but then he had another comlink. He did something to it, and then he stuck it back in his bag. So I'm thinking either he made it an open channel, like maybe he was secretly working with the Empire the whole time, or I don't know. Maybe they were trying to. Maybe it was the only thing they could do to try and defeat the jamming.
I don't know, because only those two heard it. No one else heard it.
Yeah,
just those two people.
Yeah. And so they ended up catching up to Quill. They kill him, and then they take Baby Yoda, and then it basically, and of course the Moff is like, yeah, surrender or die, basically.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna get the baby one way or another.
I was mad.
He's mine. I want him.
And we kind of just end on the shot of
Baby Yoda
being like fucking picked up, and then Quill is just
smoking carcass.
Face
and they
down
killed
in
the last Gibble.
Yeah, they did.
Poor Gibble.
Oh, fucking,
All three of them died.
oh, the fucking rip. Justice for my Gibbles.
But so now what that leaves us with, though, obviously, is Mando, Kara, and Karga all trapped inside the cantina. We don't know how they're going to get out. We don't know how they're going to survive.
Can't they go back the fucking way they came?
Oh, you got to realize there's still the other stormtroopers outside.
Yeah.
Because there's more than just the three that walked in afterwards. The streets were lined with them. So they still got stormtroopers out that way. But also, one thing that it doesn't show is, what's IG-11 doing?
Manuel made a good point about that too. He said he's gonna flip out.
Yeah, I feel
You
like
think he's gonna find
yeah,
Quill's body?
because they were right outside the ship.
Yeah.
He was literally almost there.
And then they did talk about how, like, when he told him that, I want you to stay back and watch the kid. He was like, oh yeah, he's gonna do it. He was like, no, he's not gonna do it. I don't trust him. But he was like, oh yeah, I can update. I can put in caring and defending whatever programming him. So I'm pretty sure he did that. So when that thing is gonna be in his mind, and then when he goes outside to see what the heck was happening, he's gonna see it, and he's just gonna go defend. He's gonna walk back.
Self-destruct.
Yeah, he might do it for us this time. Do it for real this time.
Yeah.
Unanswered questions. I'm pretty sure we're gonna find out who's been following them.
I hope so.
I think if we do find out, it'll be at the very end of the episode.
Yeah, it'll be like the
after
cliffhanger or something.
Yeah, it'll be the cliffhanger to set up season 2.
Yeah. So, yeah, pretty good couple episodes. Next one's the season finale.
Yeah, I got high hopes.
Me too.
I hope it's a little bit longer too, because that's normally what they do.
Extra 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that will essentially be the first episode of next year for you guys.
Yeah.
Because we won't be able to get together again to talk about it until next year.
Mando season finale.
As a season 2 opener for Nerds Make Sense.
Yep.
But yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. We have no idea how Mando's going to get out of this one. But if there's a season 2, you can pretty much guarantee he's going to get out of it somehow.
Yeah.
Like Boba Fett got out of the Sarlacc pit.
Thanks for watching, guys.
I love it. He's trying to cut me off right there.
Thanks for watching. We'll be back with another episode. Nerds Make Sense. Let us know what was your favorite episode out of all of them. Because next time we upload it, how did you guys like the finale? We'll tell you how we liked it when we come back. Did you like the episode where dude tried to turn on him? Did you think it was funny? I thought it was funny.
I love the horror movie aspect that they did in there.
Where
it kept flashing, he'd disappear and then get closer.
I
my God.
liked that whatever, like what is essentially the police like rolled up on a ship and I'm like, oh, fucking blow it up, whatever. I'm like what? All right, I thought that was funny.
Twi'lek lives matter.
Yes.
Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll be back with another one soon.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Goodbye.